All right, what's up, y'all? Just wanted to make sure that this was working, and looks like we are connected. So, instant reaction to one of the more enjoyable days of college football that I can remember. Just exceptional. So, we'll certainly talk about tonight and the score and the Boston College game. Not going to admit that, but oh boy, wasn't that incredible watching Miami and a couple other teams lose? So, um, as far as the Boston College game, I think you pretty much had this game at garbage time once it got to be 24 to nothing. And it's great to see Benson return a kick. Got the jersey over my shoulder here. I think we're going to end up giving that to a Patreon in time, but I got to wear it tonight and it was pretty damn cool. So, uh, Florida State 44, Boston College 14. Florida State wins a game in dominating fashion for the first time in a long time over an ACC team. Just feels like this. Look, I'm not going to go deep into tonight's like X's and O's of it. Florida State earned what, north of 8 yards per play. BC was 4.1 or something like that. BC's offensive line is exactly what we thought it was. I was a little bit would have liked to seen Florida State have a little bit more success running the ball, just personally, but there's not a whole lot I'm gonna be particularly critical of in that game. So great to see the defense making plays. Great to see Cooper back out there early. It's nice to see a team put in dominant effort. It's nice to be 9 minutes into the game and it's 21 nothing or something like that. I mean, it just I've felt like the old axiom is that you go bankrupt slow and then really quickly, and maybe Florida State's done the inverse of it right now. Florida State has removed itself from bankruptcy, and look, I'm not saying Florida State's a top 5 program or something like that, but Florida State is. It's been a slow, painful process to get itself out of purgatory, if you want to sub that in for bankruptcy. And then it feels like a lot of things have gone right very quickly recently. Obviously, the recruiting that we got to watch this weekend was incredible. See you go, and I know the relationships, but to see you go across the country, grab a 4-star linebacker out of California, and then to 4 days later, grab what is legitimately one of the more sought after, probably one of the more sought after 15 to 20 kids in the country is remarkable. And Hakeem Williams, I certainly want you to ultimately sign with Florida State, and I want you to do incredible things in the course of your career. But dog, I will always love you for incorporating P-Dub and Snoop Menace into your recruitment process. That is one of the cooler things that I've seen. And, I knew what the outcome was. I didn't know Peter Work was backstage. That was awesome. So, um, I want to talk about Miami so bad. uh, oh, Miami losing to Middle Tennessee State. That was incredible. I don't know if y'all, at what point you guys chose to start watching that game. Andrew Hennigan, I think that's exactly right. I expect Florida State to be ranked somewhere around 21 next week. So the Miami game was just something that I turned on early, watched it turn to 10 to nothing, and then from that point I was just glued to it. That was incredible, and I think ultimately, Mario will be a really good recruiter and will be a pretty decent program builder. But that's a really tough pill to swallow. And I'm sorry, dog, you can have NIL money and you can do some of these things that they think they can do, that I'm still kind of skeptical as to if the ultimate and continuous backing is there. But we'll see. But man, there's only such a ceiling to a program that gets like legitimately 6,000 people in the stands. I mean, it's just not what's going to happen. And yes, I'm speaking macro. I don't really want to go in. It's not that I don't want to. I just think that Florida State beat the hell out of Boston College and did exactly what we expected them to do. So if you're looking for me to be, you know, super analytical here, I'm just not going to be. I thought Jordan played a very good game. I think it's kind of cool to sit there and be like, well, this is kind of just average run of the mill Jordan Travis this year. It's bonkers, man. Bonkers the strides that kid has made. And to see his progression as a quarterback. My progression as a podcaster still has work to do because I'm 6 minutes deep and haven't thanked my sponsors. So shame on me. Louisiana Hot Sauce, Tarpon Sellers, Nolecast is your coupon code there for 20% off. Obviously, Chad was just in the chat a second ago. Enjoyed communicating with him and Shannon all day long. I think Shannon and Mia were at that game tonight. So the legendary team of Chad and Shannon and legendary home loans are running around campus there. If you're waking up tomorrow in Tallahassee, would thoroughly encourage you to hit up the brunch at Charlie Park. And as always, Congruity HR is a brilliant option for us and would be for you as well. So love the continued rotation and the amount of carries that you're getting at running back for your three main backs, and you're getting different kids in the end zone, getting kids continuous buy-in, and then really love what you're doing at the wide receiver position. I don't have the stats in front of me, but obviously last week was Johnny Wilson's kind of national, coming out party, if you will. And then this weekend, you saw Kentron continue to get involved. I think Micah had around 50 yards receiving or so. Cam McDonald continues to be a significant piece of the offense. So love that you're able to scatter as many opportunities and catches as you are around to a big unit and continue to get those kids to develop. And hey, look, credit to Ron Dugans and the broader coaching staff. It's one thing to go get those kids out of the portal. It's a whole nother to develop them and have them be pieces that you can immediately plug in. And that unit is so different than it was last year that it's really quite remarkable. I didn't see any injuries out there. Look, at 24-0, particularly during the part of the game that I wasn't aware I was going to be doing the instant reaction. I was not, meticulously watching each snap. If there's something I missed, I apologize, but I think you got out of that game relatively healthy, and that's critical. We talked about the fact that you kind of use your mulligans when it comes to injuries along the offensive line, and particularly at that position, I think you're good. We immediately turn our focus to Wake Forest and Clemson, and if you watched that last earlier today, honestly, I didn't think I had super chats on. Christopher, I appreciate the support. Thank you very much. If you watch those two teams, if you watch the noon kickoff today, really interesting as to what transpired. I doubt that Florida State does what Clemson did for the first three quarters there, or the first 2.5 quarters. I think you'll see Florida State sit in its kind of natural, too high look and then let everything develop in front of them. So my whole point there is it's going to be critical as to what you have at the defensive line. I'm not giving away state secrets, just, granted this is dated information, but I think the original plan was to hope that Lovett was back for Wake, but to have some degree of confidence that he was going to be back for Clemson. I think that Verse, if you're going to get either of those two guys back, that Verse will be the one that's more likely. So that is kind of what you have there. I think Verse is a great piece. Obviously, this is strong, fast, physical, but particularly with the way that they run that mesh, I think Verse can be a critical facet of it. And I hope that you continue to see the development of Briggs there. Hasn't been quite the player that I thought he would be this year, but he's going to have a massive role to play in what they do and kind of collapsing that mesh next weekend. So, hey man, isn't it pretty damn great to be 4-0 and look at a Wake Forest game and look at a Clemson game and think, hey, look, if we can grab this win here and this win here, and certainly the in-state rivals look, more beatable. You beat Louisiana, you beat Georgia Tech. Hey, you could be looking at flirting with 8 and maybe flirting with more. So, fantastic start. Couldn't have gone better. Obviously, when we saw what BC's line would look like a couple weeks ago, got pretty confident about this game. But you still have to go out and win it. And to watch a game where it's 31-0 Florida State is a fan base, not a luxury that this fan base has been able to appreciate or enjoy recently. So if you guys got some questions you want to fire away, feel free. I'm not going to go super long tonight. Again, I don't think there's a whole lot to extrapolate from this game other than you beat a team in a manner that you should. And Florida and Miami both lost. And Miami lost at home to Middle Tennessee State in a game that the score is really kind of favorable as to how badly they got beat. So good luck with that, Miami. Yeah, I do have the Benson jersey here. We've got signature on the front and actually signature on the back. The front shows up better. We went with the gold numbers because it's an old Cam Akers jersey, to be honest with you. And this year's version, they only sent the number 1. So Matt Griffiths asked, what did you think about the Dads Are Hot girl, the new cowgirls? Yes, I had many friends of mine text me as to the Dads Are Hot sign, and that was pretty hilarious. And yeah, it made me think of the cowgirls from 15 or 20 years ago, however long it's been. NFL Prize Picks, I don't really dabble in that. I don't. I mean, first of all, Bud's the one you want to listen to when it comes to sporting matters in general. But yeah, tough to dabble on the NFL side of that thing. So I'd like to focus on Thursday and Saturday nights a lot more. Any recruits? I've had this message to me a couple times as well. If there are any recruits, I think the Miami loss is going to particularly impact. I don't think one game is going to impact the kids that they have committed to them already. I do think that losing to Middle Tennessee State, and particularly when you had your quarterback on Barstool 4 days ago talk about the fact that it's not a college atmosphere and that, there's part of him that loves to go on the road because he gets to play in a college atmosphere. And then the other thing about that Miami game was I appreciate those of you in the chat who have messaged some displeasure with my sobriety tonight. I have apologized to let you down. During the first 15 or 20 minutes when people really started paying attention to the Miami game, there was some lightning in the area and they only had so many cameras available. And the main one that they had available was this, camera that they had mounted on the top of the stadium. And my whole point here is that every camera shot that they had was not like the zoomed in, see 4 linemen and maybe 2 linebackers because your producer zoomed in so much. No, it was a big wide shot. It was a big wide shot that captured the fact that bleacher might have had like 1,900 people in it. And the one across the field might have had like 2,300. Just a pathetic showing from Miami in the stands, on the field. And my long-winded way of saying this is that I don't think it's going to impact kids that are committed to Miami. That's a tough sell to other kids. Shout out to Mike Myrick. Mike, I love you, dog. And I love you in the fact that you comment, I think, on every piece of Florida State content. Go Noles, #Mike got us. That's awesome. Your consistency is noted and very impressive. So, yeah, just a lot of people really thrilled with Miami and their showing today. Yeah, I mean, you certainly maybe on Sunday or Monday, Bud and I can go back and look at our projections, see where we were as far as 4 games, where we had the percentages. obviously you now have to make all of those, win factors of one as we review it. But particularly, I'd love to reevaluate where we think we are with the remaining stadium or with the remaining schedule in a stadium that will only be sold out when Florida State goes to it this year in the Hard Rock. But um, man, I just want to see. I'd love for us to look at the numbers and see what it looks like and to kind of adjust as to what we've seen on tape. And Miami benched its starting quarterback this year that supposedly was going to be a top 15 pick. So not nearly the program that we thought it was coming into the year. So um, y'all, we as a fan base have been through a lot of crap in the last 6 years, and it's been tough. Again, I'm not trying to say this is the top of the mountain. You're 4-0. You beat Boston College. We're not, popping champagne bottles and stuff, but I know I did today, and I hope y'all can, whether it be tonight or tomorrow when you wake up or whenever it is, like we're all cheering for like a legitimate football program again. This is not some burning couch disaster that that this thing's put together with bubble gum and duct tape and that it's all going to fall through. You're going to lose some games coming up. Okay, I don't think you're going to go 3 for 3 in your next three. Uh, but there's no doubt in my mind that this program isn't just headed in the right direction. It's headed in the right direction in like a pretty accelerated manner. And that's pretty awesome. I mean, it's pretty great to be able to see progress and to see kids commit and hopefully sign that are just a different level of talent than what this program's seen for the last 5 years or so. So are we back? No, we're not back. Are we back on the right track? Hell yes. And people in Clemson, South Carolina notice that. People in Raleigh know that. Uh, that they're not going to want to admit it, but people in Coral Gables know that. Um, this is a program that's got a coach that they feel comfortable with, has invested fairly well in the pieces around him, and now you get to go try to win 8 or 9 games, and you try to turn that into a class that is like the real foundational builder, what you thought last year would be. And there's certainly parts of last year that appear to be, a fundamental corner as to which you can build around. But this year's class, and particularly next year's class, has a chance to be the foundation and more. So 2024, you got a chance to do some real special things. And if you can hold on to Cam Davis and the kid out of Woodward, whose name that slips my mind right now, the safety, CJ Hurd, you've got some really nice pieces there. So a lot of people in the question or a lot of people in the chat are asking about 2 things, one of which where I see Florida State ranked this year or this week, and the situation at kicker. I mean, I think the deal with the kicker is just the kicker. I mean, you're going to have to go in a different direction, in my opinion, when you're, banging extra points off the post and stuff like that. But I don't know that there's a whole lot of great options there. So, I mean, do you go and search for, frat dogs like myself that are on the IM fields or something like that? Maybe. Maybe you go and you look for, somebody out there that has kicking experience because you got a problem, but I don't, I don't really know the remedy to it. And I don't think there's anybody else on the immediate roster that they would want to go to. Otherwise, you would have seen them. As far as the ranking, I think Florida State will be ranked somewhere, if not 21st in the country as of tomorrow at noon or whenever those rankings come out. So, yeah, man, beat the hell out of a team. That's awesome. It's what you should do sometimes. So, I did kick in middle school. I'd love the chance to go out there and kick again and make a fool of myself. Yeah, Brando asked a question about Bethune. I do think he's got, he's a tough kid. I think he's got a couple dings that he fights through, but that's a true like real ass linebacker, for lack of better phrase. I mean, that's a guy that you're really fortunate to have, has transformed the middle of that defense and is one of the reasons as to why you're not there where I'd like you to be from a defensive standpoint. But my lord, Bethune, Deloach, and the occasionally sprinkling of Lundy in is a level of linebackers that this program hasn't seen since 2015, 2014, perhaps even. So um, I think I'm going to wrap it there, y'all. Thoroughly enjoyable night. Florida State wins. Miami embarrasses themselves. Florida loses. It was a pretty great recipe for a Saturday. So thoroughly enjoyed it. We'll be back on either Sunday or Monday with a more thorough look at this game and start to turn our attention to 3 weeks that are going to be pretty damn exciting and awesome. Awesome for a program to go into a stretch like this. Ingram, can you switch Dabo's running shoes for bowling shoes right before? Yeah, man, Dabo's gonna have to ease up on that. Like the idea of a man sprinting down a hill like that and then getting his 40 yards of attention while he sprints to midfield is cool, but that's gonna go south in a very embarrassing manner at one point in time. But that's their concern, not ours. Till next time, y'all. Great to talk to you tonight. Great to see Florida State beat the hell out of an ACC team. 4-0 till tomorrow. I was going to make one more Miami joke, but I think I'll just leave it at that. So, now's the time to invest and move into a new stadium. So good luck with that, guys. Nothing like losing to Middle Tennessee State and then jumping on Twitter that your stadium's the problem. So till then, peace. You didn't see it, but that was an upside down U. There you go. Later, y'all.